Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very exciting day here at Showit. This is Showit Live on showitier.com. I'm Field, and this is Liz.
We are so glad that you are here. Every day is an exciting day,
It is.
right? Especially Showit Live days, though. This is a weekly webcast that our team here at Showit puts together for you. Every week, we bring on a different guest. We talk about things related to photography, small business ownership, creative life in general. Showit 5, right? Yeah, we're gonna be talking more and more about Showit 5 in the coming days.
Well, that's why there's multiple reasons it's an exciting day today. We have an awesome guest.
We do.
But also, the Showit 5 thing. It's like a giant snowball that's just gaining momentum. Yeah, and there are a lot of Showit 5 sites that launched over the weekend, and specifically Friday night.
You guys, Friday night was crazy. I don't normally stay up late. Like go to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Get up at like 5:30 in the morning.
Sure.
Like I go to bed early, but I get up early. I was awake until almost 2:30 in the morning on Friday night. One, because I'd had an allergy shot with a steroid in it.
Sure.
But two, because there were so many awesome sites that were launching, and I just couldn't tear myself away.
Yeah. So
cool.
over 50 Showit 5 sites have officially launched and are live. And we wanted to take a moment to show you guys some of them. Before we get into that, though, over here on the left-hand side of Liz, there is the chat. Or your right, her left, of Liz. There's a great chat window that you can be involved in, and you're going to want to log in and be involved today because of Showit 5. So
you might actually be able to get access to Showit 5 today. We're going to give it to 2 lucky people at the end of the show. Field says we can't do it now. We can't do it until the end, but we need you to participate in that chat. What do they have to do, Field?
They just have to log in, pay attention, ask some questions, and at the end of the show, we will give 2 completely random people access to Showit 5.
Oh my gosh, this is just such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the coolest thing on the internet. So
it's pretty much making the internet a better place.
Well, let's show them how. We have a couple sites that we wanted to showcase.
Yeah, Matt Witzel. We love his site. I think it's mattwitzel.com, and Matt. I'm not sure if he started with our simple design or if he just created something totally on his own, but it came out to be such a cool, unique site. I love the way that he's got his images on here. He's got lots of different places that you can click on. And I think that's the cool thing about Showit 5 is all this interactivity that you can get with canvas views. And then you can just keep scrolling and scrolling, which I love. It reminds me of some of my favorite scrolling sites, like Pinterest.
Or the Instagrams.
Yes, but this is so cool. I love how his portfolio gallery is just these nice, big, huge images that you can click through. And we just love the site. Matt, you did a wonderful, wonderful job. And if you're on your phone, or go check it out on your phone, this is also a very sweet mobile site.
Keep it on your phone.
The mobile version. So many people are on their phones these days.
And
everybody's on their phone all the time.
Even Dead, who has a awesome phone that may not be as new as yours.
No, it's just super
cute. The internet really appears on it beautifully. You guys will get to meet Jed one day.
Yeah. You're gonna love it.
But yeah, and another great site is Minnesotan Brian Bossany. If you want to check out this beautiful site. So right out of the beginning, he has this awesome full screen video with a sweet little message, really tells you a lot about him. But then as you continue to scroll down, he did a great job. There's all sorts of fun animations in and out. A big part of Showit has always been the different animations and stuff that you can do. And that still rings true with Showit 5, which is great. And he just has a beautiful site. Same thing. His mobile is killer. His
mobile is
amazing job.
Awesome. Yeah. I love this desktop site though, because there's so much happening that it just sort of entertains you and it pulls you in. And in his about section, he talked about watching The Bachelor with his wife and that he actually kind of enjoys it. And so
you shouldn't announce on the internet.
But when you do announce it on the internet, yay, Brian, what it does is it gives you a feel for Brian. I mean, his site is all about him. You know what to expect if you want to hire him as your wedding photographer. And I think that's the cool thing is that these sites, they're not generic. They're all about the photographer, all about the creative, which is really cool.
And speaking about not generic uber creative, another site that we wanted to show was Tamaya Colvin's site. So TamayaColvin.com. She is a wedding and senior photographer. She has this amazing thing called the Unbox Project, but her site is absolutely killer, and it's bright and it's vibrant, just like Tamaya and her awesome personality. And same thing, her site looks great on every screen. And you can go to tamayacolvin.com and see all sorts of crazy, amazing pictures, and you get a real feel for her personality and her love for seniors. So
yeah, I love that she did such a great job of curating her
I love that picture, by the
site. There's so much in it that is vibrant and alive and just really, really joyful. And that is totally who she is as a person. It's who she is as an artist. And that just like comes screaming off the page, which I think is so cool. And I love that she uses pink.
Yes. Oh, she
clearly loves pink. And we'll be telling you more about tomorrow because I want to share about the Unbox project one of these days coming up. It's a really cool thing. She like made her own art show. Yeah. Like sometimes you just have to go out and do stuff.
Like make your own art show.
Like make your own art show. And it's awesome. So we are excited to show some more Showit 5 sites coming up very soon. We're also excited because we're going to go to this big event pretty soon. And a bunch of you are going to come. And if you haven't decided whether or not you should come yet, you should come and visit us at WPPI. We will be there.
I was going to say, where should they go?
Where should they go?
You should go to Vegas.
You can, go to Vegas. You can come visit us here in Arizona too. Yeah. Go to Vegas, go to WPPI. That's coming up in March, and it's going to be March 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're going to be on the show floor in the Marquee Ballroom at the WPPI Expo. But the night before, we're going to have a really cool party.
Yeah, apparently March is next week, by the way. This isn't for 2 weeks.
And there's a bonus day in February.
Yes.
March is still around the corner.
Yeah, which is terrifyingly awesome. There's some big things happening in March, guys. One of them, though, is our dinner March 6th at the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan there in Las Vegas. You can even check out this awesome site, vegas.showit.co, and to learn more about it, and also to get in on. Do we have tickets left for the dinner?
We do. We are near sold out. So we have a handful of tickets left, a couple left, and you can go right here to vegas.showit.co and grab your tickets for dinner. You can even make an appointment to come by and see us and learn more about Showit 5 in our booth.
Sweet.
And then you can see all the Showiteers who are speaking either at WPPI or at Photographers Ignite, which is really cool.
We put the schedule of all the Showiteers
on
the
faces.
site. Yes, it's very happy faces.
I love that site. JT did that for us. And it was just really cool to see that site come together because we get excited for WPPI because we like to hug you.
There's clearly a lot of fun things going on.
So many things.
And we can't wait for all of these events to actually start up. So, and then next week, we talked about the Vegas 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Next week, are we still doing Showit 5 stuff?
We are doing so much Showit 5. It's going to be like Showit 5 all the time next week. You're going to want to make sure that you are here for the show next Tuesday,
especially
March
if you
1st.
Win 2 tickets today.
Exactly. But what if you won 2? You have to make 2 sites. No, we want you to be here next week. Showit Live is going to be at a special time. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to have some special guests on the show. We're not going to tell you who they are yet, but we're going to be talking about launching. We're going to be showing some of the sites that we are launching, and we're going to be giving out like the full details of Showit 5, the things we haven't told you yet.
So, and then one other thing that we love to do here at Showit is we love to feature Showiteers. We love to feature our users, amazing photographers that just happen to build their uber creative sites using Showit. And this week's Showiteer is Andrew Fry,
and his website's Andrew Fry. His website is andrewdavid.co, and it's such a fun site. Like you come under it, and it's got the big hello, which I love. I love that he is showing lots and lots of his images, lots and lots of him, which is fun because it's always like nice to know the creative behind the photographer.
I love all the contrast
behind the camera. Yes, I love it. I love the colors that he chose. It's very like masculine yet approachable. So great job, Andrew. Such a beautiful, beautiful site, and hopefully maybe you're going to be at WPPI, Andrew, because we'd like you to come and see us.
No, there's one other person who has a Showit 5 site that we didn't mention, but who is on the episode with us today.
On the show today. We have an amazing guest today for you. Her name is Marirosa Anderson. She lives in Washington, D.C., in that area, in the D.C. area.
DC greater metropolitan
area, which is a really cool. We actually got to go there last year. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place.
Except in the summer.
It gets pretty hot there in the summer. But Marirosa is a wedding photographer. You can go to her website. It's photography.marirosa.com. And this is a brand new Showit 5 site. It launched just last week, and it was designed by one of our design partners, Katie Dursky of Ribbon and Ink. Yeah. So, and Katie had done Marirosa's site originally, and Marirosa, being a very busy woman, needed some help transitioning over to Showit 5. So Katie helped her with that. Her blog is also Showit 5, which is really, really cool. But we are so excited that Marirosa is going to join us on the show today. And we have a really interesting topic to talk about. She has both a business, and she is a legit wedding photographer. She shot 40 weddings last year.
Which is crazy.
And she has a full-time job.
Well, welcome, Marirosa.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We would say good morning, but it's actually good afternoon for you.
That's right. That's right. About 1 o'clock.
About 1 o'clock. Now, I always like to talk about the weather, and it's not because the weather is boring, but I actually really am interested in, like, what's the weather like? Is it cold in DC, or is spring coming?
Spring is coming, but it's actually quite ugly outside today. It's about 45 degrees and rainy. So
perfect. That sounds great.
Well, it looks nice and joyful and warm inside your studio there.
Thankfully.
That's awesome. Well, I am so glad that you could join us to talk about this topic. And you actually came to us with this and said, I really want to encourage creatives, photographers to embrace the fact that they have a photography business and a full-time job. Because you've been in this situation for quite some time. And for a long time, you felt like you had to keep it a secret from your clients that you had a full-time job. And then one day you just decided, I'm not going to play this game anymore. What was it? Was there, what was that catalyst that day that said, I want to change the way I'm doing this?
I think I realized that it was just more important to provide my clients with such an experience that it didn't matter what I was doing during the day. My clients come to me in the evenings or on weekends. Well, that's kind of the same thing with me. But I also felt as though doing 40 weddings a year and building my business over the last 10 years, I'm able to provide the same service to them, regardless whether I am working full-time during the day and then working full-time at night doing my business. So I just decided not to hide it anymore. When it comes up in topic, I say it, and they're actually pretty surprised. And we go from there. They know that I don't sacrifice their experience due to the fact that I'm doing something else during those off hours from, I guess, running our own business. Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So what is the other job?
I'm actually a database analyst for an IT company, and I love my job. And it's not that I'm happy doing both, and there's no need or want for me to quit one or the other. It's just something I enjoy doing, and I'm an expert in doing that part of it. So I'm going to keep that separation there and keep going as long as I can.
That's awesome.
So you're not at all in that place where you're like, oh, I'm trying to get up to a certain number of weddings, because you shot 40 weddings last year. I mean, that is like double the amount that I ever shot when I was full time. That's awesome. You must have some really cool workflow. I do. I have quite a bit of workflow, but I also have a great community around me. My family really is the substance underneath me. Without my husband dealing with all of this and always being my biggest supporter, it's hard to look otherwise. But I think also priorities are really, really important. So it's really important to place those priorities that you need to make sure that you're not sacrificing anything. So I do have a lot of workflows, and it's funny because some of my workflows are personal life. Things like if I really need groceries, I'll just call the delivery service, order online, and have it delivered. But it saves me 2 hours in my day. And I think, $7 delivery fee kind of balances out if I get to spend 2 more hours working or doing something else I'd rather do.
For sure. And so are you going with the grocery store specifically, or are you using a online service for the groceries?
For this, actually, in the Northern Virginia, DC area, we have Giant, and it's called Peapod by Giant. Okay. And it's great. You can actually go online and actually walk the aisles and pick and choose and put it in your cart, and the delivery brings it right into your house. Yeah. So it works out perfect in that sense. It's all those little things, to make things flow just a little bit easier.
No, I love that. And if you're out there in the chat, we would love to know if you've got any life hacks like that. Like, what are you outsourcing in your daily life that might make it easier to run your business? Or if you have a question for Marirosa about how she's doing this, being able to have a full-time job and have a full-time business, go ahead and post those up, because we'd love to see them. Now, I know right now you specialize in weddings. That's your specialty. Was there a time where you were doing other kinds of photography?
Yeah. So when I first started, I started my career almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in September. And I started, 15 years out of college. So I already had my full-time career kind of going. So by the time kind of photography evolved, and I started with lifestyle photos and did that for a few years, and then didn't find that was the love I had. I had a friend believe in me to do her wedding when honestly I didn't think I could. And she took the chance, so I did. And I never looked back. I kind of got that wedding bug and have never looked back. So I just started building my business to really focus. I still do lifestyle, but I do it more for my couples that have had babies and their families are growing. So to me, that's so important to remain that friendship and that rapport with them. So, but, kind of just approaching the website, you don't see anything that has to do but anything besides weddings at this point.
So does that help you then to be able to maintain both the full-time business and the full-time job, because you are specialized with that? It just sort of makes that a more narrow path for everything to go down.
It does. And I think working full-time allowed me to grow my business in a more softer way and with less risk, because I didn't have to think of, is this going to pay the mortgage? Is this going to do this? You still make good business decisions, but you make them with a little bit different mindset. And I think it was the pressure in general of that I put myself to succeed, that I didn't value that I would be considered a professional unless I did this professionally or full time. And as I say, 40 weddings a year is full time. There's no doubt. There's definitely no doubt about that. It's definitely full time.
Well,
you are full time.
Yeah. And what I love is your two jobs they're pretty different. So I've done some database stuff in the past. A database analyst is a different form of creativity than a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
So, and I'd be interested to know anybody out there, if you do have two full-time jobs, photography and the other, like what is the other full-time job?
Yeah.
Because I have two full-time jobs. One of them is I work for Showit. Yeah. The other is I'm a photographer. Right. But mine are kind of similar.
Yeah. There's a little synergy.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
No synergy here. Two completely different worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, does the company that you work for full time in your database life, do they know about your business?
They do. I mean, I keep a very strict line for myself between them. When it's working on my 9 to 5, like for example today, I took the day off. I didn't want to sacrifice anything, so I took a vacation day, figuring I'd be on here with you guys, and that way I didn't have to worry about it. So. But yeah, they know. I don't overly announce it, so it's not like I'm marketing to my colleagues by any means. And I keep it very, very separately. From 9 to 5, I am 100% committed to what I do there, and that's a huge part of it. You have to learn to prioritize that. I mean, even though I took the day off this morning, I did work for about an hour, and then came into the studio. And then I feel like I can give both sides the most, but that's the biggest thing is my structure. I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to lists and calendars and schedules. So I really make sure that my time is very equally spent. And, just like any other daytime job or any photography, things come up out of the ordinary. And I will make those adjustments in my calendar or in my schedule that if I do have to do something work related or do a business trip, I do it, But before anything, I think, I'll be honest, I will mention the fact too, though, that I do have 2 kids, and no matter what, my family still comes first. So I make sure that, I only meet with clients on specific days. I only meet with them at specific times, simply because, my daughter's softball game comes first, and, my husband comes first and my son comes first. So that does help that I have that flexibility. So, about that.
So what does that look like when you are communicating with your wedding clients? Do you say I can meet on, Tuesdays between 4 and 7, or how does that work? What does that schedule look like?
I usually, when as a wedding photographer, you obviously do your consultations beforehand, and I do those in person. Sometimes people live far away, so we do them on Skype. But again, it's the same thing. Here's some dates that I'm available and the times that I'm available. And when I give that as the option, I usually give about 4 or 5 different times, and I say, let me know if one of those works for you. And if that doesn't work, then we'll move to the next kind of tier, where I may have to shift a little bit. Sure. But, when you give your clients 3, 4 options, it's pretty good that they're going to find a time. Just like them. And I think that's the basic thing. Just like them, they have lives outside of their wedding planning, and I have a life outside of photographing their wedding. And that's a really important thing to keep balanced. Absolutely.
So what does a typical week look like for you, Marirosa? Or is there any such thing as a typical week in your world? I mean, 40 weddings in a year. I mean, that's almost every weekend.
I will say I'm not doing 40 weddings this year. I promised my family that I would cap it at 30, which is a huge difference. You know, I am capping it at 30. I'm almost there. I'm only about 4 or 5 away from that goal and close out the year in that sense. But, you know, for me, I want to make sure that I've learned very recently and over time there are times you just need to close the computer, just walk away. Usually, you know, if my husband's watching TV, he'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And that's kind of my hint of, hey, hun, time to, you know, usually for me, when I say, let me finish this email, it's I've had to stop myself, and I'm making a really good effort to just shut it down and say, enough. You know, I'm going to go do that. And I think that's okay. You know, I think that's reality. Reality is that whether it's 2 jobs or you're stay-at-home mom, which is a full-time job on its own, you've got to learn how to balance it. Yeah. You know, my kids are a little bit older. They're almost 17 and 11. So that does help. I don't know if I could do this as with toddlers at this speed. It definitely wouldn't be 20, 30 weddings a year. It would be much less. But it works. And there's days that are tougher than others, definitely.
So then is your full-time, your other FTE, is it Monday through Friday?
It is. Okay. It is Monday through Friday. Okay. And I mean, just like anybody else, I do have, you know, sometimes maybe a couple business trips a year, and we do what has to happen. Okay. I think it really comes down to, it's really no different than our couples not being able to meet with us under specific times because they're at work. So it kind of varies. Usually they can't meet 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. It just doesn't happen. So I've just learned not to really kind of harp on it. You know, I definitely don't put a big sign out that says I work full time. Yeah. But the topic comes up, I talk about it. It's no big deal. No big deal at all.
So then what are the hours for your photography business?
I usually try to spend you know, the evenings, I do try to, you know, obviously answer the emails. I do answer my emails within 12 hours, as quickly as I can. I am kind of attached to my phone and my iPad and all of that.
You're alone in that. Nobody else is attached to their phone.
Yeah, I think there's
their device.
A magnet on my hand that it doesn't allow me to remove it. Yeah. But you know, I'm not going to answer an email at 9:30 at night unless it's an emergency. I mean, that's different time. Whether I'm editing or something, that's still just a time that I'm not gonna do that. It can wait till tomorrow morning if needed. So I usually do 3-4 hours in the evenings, and then we're night owls in my house. So I'll be honest, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's very common on a weekday. I'm still chugging along, and the house looks like it's 6 p.m. Yeah. So that does help. But then I try to just limit the time and do that in the evenings. And like you said, I have a lot of workflows. You know, my blogging gets done separately. You know, my social media gets pre-planned, things like that.
Do you outsource specific things in your business?
I don't outsource editing. I will say during really heavy months, like last year, September, I had 9 weddings. Learned my lesson never to do that again. Yep.
It's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah. It was 9 weddings and 2 business trips. So it was really, really chaotic. But what I ended up doing was anything that was ceremony based in a church and family portraits, I did send out once I called them. But other than that, no, I keep everything in-house. Again, it goes back to that little bit of an OCD thing. I have a hard time letting go of it. And even though I do send those out when I do, I still can't bring them back in and look at them. It's kind of, I still want to touch them and look at them myself.
Yeah, double check everything. Yeah, if you are out there in the chat and you're watching from work, we would love to know. Like, raise your hand and let us know if you've got like your earbuds in and listening in to Showit live. Because people do this.
It's multitasking.
Yes, it is. It is totally possible to listen to this and get. I know a lot of people like do their editing. Or
well, you watch Netflix while you edit.
I do.
I mean, you edit while Netflix is on in the background.
While Netflix. Yes. Yeah. No, I do. Sometimes it's just kind of helpful to have something to listen to, and Showit Live can be a great one. So raise your hand if you're doing that. Do you only answer? This was a question from Ty Wilson in the chat, and I'm going to try and read this out with my glasses on. Oh. Do you only answer emails during your lunch breaks, or you mentioned you do them in the evening hours? Are you very structured in only responding during the evening hours?
No, like if it's, I usually check everything in the morning and kind of get those that came in through the night before. And then maybe midday if needed, if I'm during my lunch. And then once I get home, you know, I kind of go through them really quick. But if it's an emergency, I mean, I see them come through. So if it's something that I feel absolutely needs to be handled, then I will, you know, I will do what needs to be done. But I don't sacrifice my time with my daytime job. It's just, it's not fair to me and that part of my career, and it's not fair to them. And I don't ever want anybody to question my loyalties on where my responsibilities lie. So I think if anything, it makes me do it harder and more and versus pull back from it. Absolutely.
I love that. I love your attitude about it, because it's got to be hard when you have a full-time job that doesn't have synergy with your business to be able to say, I really do love both of these and I want both of these, and it doesn't make me any less of a database engineer or a photographer. Like, you can fully be both.
Yeah. And it would be really hard for a lot of people to say, I love being a database analyst.
Sorry, honey.
So kudos to you.
Yeah.
I think Marirosa uses both the left and the right side of her brain fairly equally. I'd love to have you take like one of those tests for us.
And we're not going to tell Brooke, Kathleen, we're not going to tell anybody that you're watching at work.
Lots of people are watching from work. Yeah, Jed from our team, I think he's logged on. He's in the other room. He is watching from work, which is awesome. No, I think it's great that you found a way to do this and that your family isn't suffering for it. Your husband is obviously super supportive. We see him in the chat. He said you were definitely streaming things whilst you are working.
Yeah,
editing.
I'm a huge Netflix person. So I kind of binge watch. Right now it's Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
Gilmore Girls right now. I kept hearing about Gilmore Girls.
Oh, Gilmore Girls. I just started Call the Midwife.
Great show.
Really, really good show. So, if you like lots of babies.
I know.
It's very,
but then you also realize I just streamed 3 seasons, which is like 30 hours, and you just sat there and did it all. It's really sad. But hey, my goal is get through the bride and groom edits before the episode ends.
At least you're in a show where every season is on there. I hate it. I just finished a season of, it's like a male soap opera / teeny bopper, Arrow, but it's like a superhero thing. Anyways, I just finished season 3 and season 4 is not on there.
Oh, that is upsetting.
So, I mean, at least you have seasons 4 through 40 on Gilmore Girls. 4
through 4. And are they bringing more back? Like, it's coming back again because you just can't.
I hear about it every other day, so I'm sure it's coming back.
You know, that's the thing. You are in good company binge watching Netflix and the Gilmore Girls, because a lot of Showiters seem to really like the Gilmore Girls. All right, so take us through what happens now. We're at the end of February, which is just crazy to us. And we've been seeing like wedding season. It's starting to kind of come into gear. People are like, all right, first wedding of the season this year. I saw a lot of that on Saturday. When do you kind of start to ramp up into these 30 or so weddings?
You know, in the DC metro area, I don't think we have seasons anymore at all. I am actually starting on Saturday. It's my first wedding, February 27th. And it goes all the way through. Right now, my last wedding is going to be right now, end of October. Okay. So, you know, I've got 1 in February. I've got 2 in March. And then April's my crazy month. So it's starting to pick up.
All right, it's you're gonna get into that rhythm. Are there certain weeks or months that you set aside that you just don't book things? I know a lot of people are like, I don't shoot weddings in December. I take off all of December, or if you live in Arizona, you don't shoot in July because it's 147 degrees outside. Yeah,
to me, it's really more of those specific dates in my life that are really important. I try not to, book weddings obviously on my kids' birthdays and things like that. So I want to make sure that I don't do that. We try to pre-plan if we're going to do a vacation. We pre-schedule it way ahead, so I immediately block it off. And I just kind of put it up on the calendar. And, one of the things that's helped me kind of alleviate the inbound interest is I kind of put that information out there on my Showit site. I have availability calendar. I update it when something gets booked with the date and the venue, and that way, hopefully, if somebody sees it, I'm not wasting their time or vice versa. So I kind of put anything that, I'm headed out of town or whatever, I put it all out there.
I like that. That seems like very helpful to your clients to know.
Seems efficient.
Sort of, yeah, it's very, and you have to be efficient if you are going to handle both of these. Now, do you do any traveling? Do you do any destination weddings, or do you strictly shoot DC Metro?
No, I don't search out the destination weddings, but when they come, they're really super exciting for me. So I am heading to 2 different places this year. I'm heading down to Key West in June. And then in September, I'm super excited because one of my dear friends, her son's getting married, and they've asked me to do the photos, and that's in Cartagena, Colombia. So I'm super excited about that one.
Throw international on your
super excited.
Put that up on your show at 5.
I know.
That's awesome. I love it. One more question about you. You have a new Show at 5 site, yay, yes. And you have a Show at 5 blog site now. Do you blog every wedding you shoot? Because I know blogging is one of the big hurdles for people to get through, and we know it's so important, but we know it's a time commitment. How do you handle blogging?
My blogging side, I blog anything that has to do with my clients. I do blog. So what I usually do is, usually within 24 hours of the wedding, I kind of post up, not on the blog, but on my website and on social media, a little kind of a storyboard with maybe 5 or 6 photos from the wedding. And it kind of gives them a 24-hour peek, quiets them down while they go on their honeymoon so I can get the editing done. And then Tuesday is my blogging day. But I usually have that blog pre-done by Sunday. So if I shoot a wedding Saturday, I'm culling, I'm choosing those images Sunday, and I pre-blog it. And what I think helps too, though, is I'm not a super private person, but I don't know how my clients feel about putting everything out there. So I keep too much on their personal side to a limit. I talk about them, but I talk about my experience with my couples and things that really stood out. So my writing on those blog posts are not, paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. They're just little bits and pieces here and there, which are really emphasis on about 50 to 60 photos. So then those are pre-done, and I use CoSchedule, and I pre-plan it so that it goes out on Tuesday. And if your wedding's Sunday, it goes out Wednesday. And my clients kind of expect it at this point. But again, it's kind of just a roll of a workflow. Okay. So that does help.
So you've set that expectation, you've made the calendar, and you just know, like, it's not a perchance thing that you're going to blog that wedding. You're going to blog that wedding within a certain number of days.
And I love that you use CoSchedule, because that is my jam. I love CoSchedule
I'm totally addicted to it. I just connected the new Show at 5 blog to it yesterday. I got a little scared there because when I disconnected it, all my pre-planned went away. And thankfully they all came back.
They came back, I've been there. It's terrifying.
Awesome.
But that's like one of those companies. Every email I get, I open from them and I read. CoSchedule.
They're phenomenal.
It's super exciting. Let's can we look at your Show at 5 site?
Sure.
Just a little bit. We'll have JT pull that up for us. You worked with Katie Dursky of Ribbon and Ink, and she had done your Show at desktop site, and you wanted to transition over what you had because you really loved it. And
right. I absolutely loved, I'm kind of a techie in that sense. I kind of love all the latest and greatest. Now, it's interesting because she kind of said, okay, well, let's give it a try. And that's my new video we just launched a couple weeks ago that we did. So yeah, I absolutely love it. She's still playing around with it a little bit, which I love the fact that I don't have to put something on the desktop. I can just go right to it. The simplicity of it. I mean, it takes a little getting used to, but once you get the gist of it, it's really, really fun to look at and really fun to work in.
It is. It's really, we have so many people that are in there working on their sites, and they're just like right at this very moment, and they're having a blast and figuring out all the different things that they can do with Canvas views, and just the way that Canvases work with sort of building your pages out is really, it's really, really fun. But I love your site, and I'm so excited that you transitioned over and that your blog is a Show at 5 site, which is super awesome. And this has been so much fun. Could you just give a little encouragement to those viewers that are out there that are watching from work? Like, what would you say to Marirosa maybe like a few years ago as you were like really finding your stride in this balancing both?
Okay, so I think that the biggest thing is that no one determines your success but you. And I think that was a huge crossroads for me. The industry made me feel, I don't know why, but I made the industry make me feel as though they determined my success. And I felt like other photographers determined my success and other business people did. And then I realized one day, wait a minute, what is it to me? And the only people that I need to be super happy with are my clients and my family and those around me and around my village. And that's it. So I think you determining what your success is, that makes you successful. If your success is 5 weddings, hey, it's 5 weddings. It doesn't matter. So it's not always trying to get the numbers up, but really giving more to your clients than they ever expected. And I think that's what's my motivation is to, I love that my clients love my photos, obviously, but when a client says to me, you were more than a photographer, you were a friend, that right there does it for me. That to me is the ultimate thank you that I could get from my clients. Absolutely.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And, we're a big fan of setting goals and trying to hit your goals and all of that. So if you're out there and you haven't set your goals for 2016, do it now. And that's how you can judge your success. If you shot 3 weddings last year, don't judge your success if you shoot 40 this year. But make goals and strive for them and hit them. And that's how you determine your success.
And write them down. There actually is like scientific research that says like writing them down makes it so much more likely that you're actually going to do it. Just that action of getting it on paper. And I think that's awesome. Some people want to shoot 30 weddings in a year and some people want to shoot 10, and that is their like magic number, and they're grateful for those. And so I love your attitude about this. I think it's awesome. I think sort of letting go of the shame of having a full-time job is a really important thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because it doesn't make you any less of an artist.
Nope. It doesn't.
Yeah. Lots of famous artists had like day jobs.
Sure.
They had other things, and you know what? Like, don't quit your daydream.
Yeah.
I want that shirt.
Yeah. Da Vinci made pizzas. I can't back that up. I can't back that up at all. I'm pretty sure.
He
made
never
everything.
heard that. He did. He made just about everything.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We are going to invite 2 people to join you in the Showit 5 user community here. Yes. So I'm going to say the first one because it has an easier name.
Okay.
And then you can do your best with the second. So guys, thank you very much for watching Showit Live today. At the beginning, we talked about how 2 lucky people are going to get access early to Showit 5. By early, I mean like right after the show ends. Going to go get these people set
I will
up.
Go and flip the switch on your sites and send you an email.
It's literally a switch. Yeah, it's really cool.
Switches all over the walls.
So our first winner and new Showit 5 user is Kathleen Harrell Mapson.
Yay!
So congrats,
Welcome
Kathleen.
to Showit 5, Kathleen. And I think she was actually watching from work.
Yes, she was.
Both of our winners today watching from work. Our second winner today is Brooke Hickether, and Brooke is actually, I believe, a local photographer here in Phoenix. She came to United.
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
That's right.
We met her at United.
And
she totally helped our friend Susie Enns, who was at United, who broke her leg at the end of United. Like, total drama. Susie, we love you. We hope that you are recovering really well. And Brooke was an awesome, awesome friend and stepped up and helped Susie's husband when he first came to town to help take care of her. So just a little like Showitier love community story there, which is great. So we are super excited. Kathleen and Brooke, welcome to Showit 5. And for those of you out there who want to get Showit 5, be back here next Tuesday, March 1st.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In the PMs, in the afternoons, in your PJs if you wish.
I'm going to sleep in.
You might actually get some sleep. So join us next week. Keep an eye on your email too, Showitiers. There's some really fun stuff coming through an email.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week at 3 p.m. on Tuesday.
3 p.m. on Tuesday.